Anyone else who'd like to address the board? Give your name and address, please.
My name is Jessica Zambrano. I wanted to say that at the last planning board meeting, the panel members passed a resolution, a unanimous resolution, to ask the town board to consider putting sidewalks into commercial areas of the town. I would like to know if that resolution has come to the board and if the board is going to consider the installation of sidewalks in commercial areas. And if it has come to the board and if you're going to proceed, what is the timetable for undertaking discussions on that issue?
When did they bring it up? What meeting?
The last planning board meeting.
I was out of town last week, so I haven't got to that
Last
matter yet.
Wednesday.
So if it has come up, I'm not aware of it.
Do you know, Wayne, if that has come up?
I don't believe it's gone to the board. I mean, it's not.
They just discussed it.
It hasn't.
When they say commercial, does that mean in front of existing? Or I know right now they ask for sidewalks just about anywhere now, so.
I think it's in front of existing commercial establishments.
To fill in the voids.
Fill in the voids that, you know, between the newer ones that have
Well,
sidewalks.
Specifically, routes 31 and Route 11 were discussed at that meeting.
Well, my biggest concern is who would pay for these voids.
Well, that would be part of the discussion, you know, as to what is the town's expectation from the developers, from the property owners, and perhaps, you know, a town ordinance would be needed to make, you know, for maintenance of those sidewalks. But I think it's an important issue. It's a safety issue, and I think it needs to be considered. So I'm a little disappointed that it hasn't come here, but I know that they're very busy and are probably working on the, you know, getting that information to you.
I believe this is under New York State Building Code now that all new commercial has to have the sidewalks. But if you're talking about, I was sick last week, so I wasn't there.
We missed you.
But I don't know if you could go back on already existing commercial and say that they have to put sidewalks in. I don't think that would, you could do that legally.
Well, you know, as part of the discussion, we certainly could raise it with the town attorney to see, you know, what would be possible. I understand what you're saying,
Yes,
Mr. Conway.
you know, something that's been there for 20 years, I don't believe you can come back in and say, hey, you've got to put sidewalks in. And I know I talked to him several times when I was on the board about how we were going to address this. And you could have somebody put one in, and it's 5 foot wide, and it's 20 feet back from the road. And the next one, they don't have 20 feet from the road, and where do you put the sidewalk?
Right.
Well, I think that's
the issue. You know,
Right.
how wide are the sidewalks? Where are they placed? And this becomes a town standard.
And they were inquiring about our asking the board to develop what should the standard be so that it can become part of the ordinance. And then ordinance to be voted on so that if someone did not install sidewalks when they were told to do so in the planning process, there needs to be an ordinance that gives the planning department teeth to remedy that. You know, take some action on people who have not followed through on what they were supposed to do.
Well, if you have a state code, you're going to have to follow the state code anyways.
And the state code right now, I'm sorry, the state code right now says that they have to go in.
Then they don't have any widths on it.
It's on new buildings?
They don't have a width. In other words, 4 foot wide, 5 foot wide.
But where is that, existing or pre-existing?
Well, for under the new code, but I think that the new code says 5 foot.
Yeah, I don't believe that's in the code. I don't believe that's in the state building code.
I think it came up last year.
Well, whatever.
But if it isn't
At
in the
least
code-
Jay talked to me about it.
If
When
it
he
isn't-
said it was in
If
there.
it isn't in the state code, certainly the town could pass an ordinance that would
Right.
mandate a certain width.
Yes.
When it comes to our attention, we'll look at it.
Thank you.